Shalom. To all my Israelite brothers and sisters, those that are near and those that are far off. When we say those that are near, my Israelite brothers that are near, those are Israelite brothers and sisters that through the historical records, even in this wicked kingdom, and according to the Holy Scriptures, they have come to understand that the Negro has a name, and his name is Israel. The children of Israel that were sold into worldwide slavery, stripped of their identity and their name and everything. Those are brothers and sisters that are near. They understand these things. Our brothers and sisters that are far off are our Israelite brothers that are still reside in the constructs of religious organizations to the point that they have no nationality. All right, so greetings this afternoon. I hope that everybody's having a wonderful day. Please forgive me for eating, but something jumped in my mind. I got to make the video, and I can't wait till I get to eating. I gotta go for it now. So, me and my comrade was sitting here talking. He was asking me about some blood moons and stuff of that nature. Well, I don't know nothing about no blood moons, because I know that the Bible say that the moon gonna be turned to blood, and this blood moon is in the Bible, but I always looked at it as it related to the signs of the times, and a thing that lets us know that we're getting closer to the end. I don't know nothing about blood moons, or what if the blood moon jump up there, whether or not everybody's power gonna go out. You know, I don't know nothing like that when it comes to that. But I know that when we see these things, we know it's a sign of the times. That's what the Bible say, that there should be signs in the heavens, in the sky. He was asking me about some things about, what was that you was asking?
I was saying that
I got Yasser here with me.
Blood moons, I've heard that, you know, they said that they are signs of different things. Like in 1947 or 48, there was what they called a Tehidra, and it was over Israel, and we know that the fake Jews went in there in Israel. So we see they have another Tetra that just happened, and it's over Greece and Rome where it's burning. So I want to know if it's a sign of, a sort of sign of like judgment, a wrath, you know. Because I think that in the Bible, they had a blood moon that was over Nivea. Am I correct? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but you know, Jonah was supposed to go to Nivea and tell them that wrath was coming if they didn't change.
Right.
And I think they had a blood moon. I don't know if I'm correct or not. Don't hold me to it, but it's either a blood moon or an eclipse or something like that. A sign, a wonder. Am I correct, or am I?
Well, I know one thing, that if blood moon meant the destruction was about to happen, then Nineveh didn't have one, because they took heed to what Jonah said and repented.
Well,
you know, eventually Nineveh was destroyed, but not that particular time. Here's my response to what my brother was asking. You see, if the whole world of Gentiles and heathens alike are under judgment. Somebody say, he said Gentile and heathen.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That where they seeing these blood moons, that it's destruction happening.
Have you ever seen one?
I've never seen one. I've watched them on the NASA live feed and stuff, but I never actually looked and seen it myself. I seen the eclipse though a few times in my life, You know, and I know that these things are in the Bible. There's signs and wonders that's in the heaven. We know that the Father controls these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not some scientific reason for it or anything like that. So, you know, I wanted to know basically out in the Bible, when these things happen, what was it actually reading about, or you know, because you know, I've heard on little videos and stuff that I've, you know, watched and stuff, that these were signs, either signs of the times. But when you have a blood moon, it's different from an eclipse.
Yeah.
You know, it turns straight red, and then when they've had 3 of them inside of 1 year, it's just like the eclipse was over the United States this time.
Right.
The times that it happened. It came from the west only into the east. So,
right.
You know.
Well, you know what? I know one thing. I'm going to ask them a question just to poke some fun at them. Hey, when's the last time any of y'all had a lunch like this? And some beef salami. Remember we used to eat like this all the time when we was younger? Before you had the money to go and spend at restaurants and sit down and eat all that crazy stuff. Okay, backwards now. Here's the thing. The Bible tells us if you don't have the wisdom or the knowledge to speak on the matter, then put your hand over your mouth. So when it comes to the blood moon issue, I put my hand over my mouth because I don't have knowledge in that area. But what I do know that according to the scripture that there will be signs in the heavens. I know that much. I ain't no need of me watching them make a sandwich. It will be signs in the heavens, and then that blood moon is part of it. The blood moon is part of the signs in the heaven, just like you said, just like the eclipse is. Where my knife go, man?
It's stuck up in there now.
It ain't in there now.
It's in the top of the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so, but judgment is coming upon the Father's enemies.
Yeah.
And the blood moons is a sign of things that will be taking place in the last days. So what days we living in?
In the last days.
So it's automatic expectancy to see those things there. The children of Israel should not be surprised about any of those things. It's there for us for a time clock.
Yeah.
Okay? Because at the root of what you're asking, you really know what it's there for. It's there because it's coming to the end of time where the Father going to judge his enemies. And he's judging his enemies now, which leads me to something, because these people are crazy. Oh, man, I can't wait till our European brothers get the truth. I can't wait till our brothers in church get the truth. Because they think that them people over there are Israel. That's what they think. And they've been supporting them. They don't even have the sense enough to see. According to the scripture, I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that cursed you. If they were the people over there, don't these heathens think that they'll be being blessed right now? That the whole world is burning up. You got volcanoes everywhere erupting. You got opioids. You got school shooting. You got all of this destruction that the Father is reaping in the earth. And they ain't got the sense enough to understand why. And so I told Jason, I said, well, you see, they just gonna get judged, because the only way for them to turn around and receive the Father's blessing is they got to love the Negro. They got to love the one that they done had their foot on. They got to love him. You see?
They have to bless Israel.
That's right.
That's
Not only
right.
do they have to love him, but they have to love him in such a way that they cling to every word out of his mouth for dear life.
Man.
And that they would sacrifice their life to save one of us.
Yeah.
That's how much they have to love us.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
But see, they think they have been deceived to think that they have been standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel.
Yeah.
And God been blessing their kingdom. Like the United States of America, God been blessing their kingdom. But God don't bless you
But look at the
by messing believing that you are murdering everybody and oppressing everybody. You think, so you attached to Israel over here, and his father is the devil. And his works they are doing in the world. They are lying to everybody. From the politicians, to the preachers, to the Christianity, to everything. They're lying. And they are murdering. He was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. They will murder anybody that stands in the way of exposing what it really is. But these Gentiles have been deceived because they think them as the Father's chosen people. So they said, well, we're going to go out of our way to bless Israel. We're going to go out of our way to bless Israel. In the process of them trying to bless Israel, they become the worst thing on the planet. All the while saying that, talking about God. Tell me one of these European Christians, you'll know if he's a child of God by how he treats the Negro. And when Gentiles start putting the Negro ahead of themselves, that's going to be the expression, the outward expression of how much they love the Father. As long as they still dance like we ain't nobody, get prepared for another hurricane. Get prepared for another school shooting. And it's about to intensify. Because we know that the Father promised he was going to reverse our captivity. I'm just leaving the grocery store. And on my way across the parking lot, I'm down in my neighborhood, my old neighborhood. I'm coming across the parking lot, and somebody's coming across, approaching me. And he's like, hey. And the closer they got, I realized that I knew him. Well, it's one of my aunties from back when we was younger. Through marriage, but on another side of the family. I ain't seen her in a long time. How you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? Everything. Dang, you look good, too. Saying that's good, nephew. We embrace. We embrace. She's like, shalom. That's right, shalom. Shalom. She said, Hebrew Israelite. To the death. She is praising the Most High because she had been released, some information have been released to her. See, our people are starting to get it now. They ain't going for this old church stuff, this Sunday morning, Wednesday night, so-called non-Bible study where you don't learn anything. You just waste your time. All right, check this out. She said, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I said, I know it, to the death. But Father promised that he was going to reverse the captivity of his people, every place that they have been scattered. All right? We have been scattered as slaves throughout the four corners of the earth. Why do I keep going over these things? I keep going over these things because my job ain't to excel and swap minds with the scholars and you know what, and debate. My thing is that I'm going to be conscious of the one that have not come into truth yet. So when we were scattered all of these places as slaves, the Father said, I'm going to reverse that captivity. And this is how I'm going to reverse it. In the midst of your captivity, you're going to begin to call those things to mind, the blessings and the curses that I have put upon you. And you're going to start relating that information to your brothers and your sisters. When you call those blessings and curses to mind, they will come to understand that they had a name, even though they didn't have one. The book of Isaiah says, can a mother forget her suckling child? He said, though you may forget, I will never forget. You see, the Father will never forget the name that he gave his people, even though the people in this earth caused his people to forget their name. You see? So when we reminding these things, we calling these things to mind so that our brothers and sisters can come to understand that they are Israel. Point blank and period. Now hear me, brother. We're not going to do what the Christian church did. Try to heap up tactics and little different breadcrumb methods to try to woo people in their argument. No, we coming full speed, head on like a Mack truck. You're going to receive the word or you're not. But guess what? Those that don't receive it, you'll be the one in the earth with no name. And if you don't have no name, you don't have no purpose. And if you don't have no name, you don't have no purpose, neither do you have an inheritance. So you really ain't got nothing to look forward to with your life, because what you become is you'll become a rejecter of the truth. So, I don't say that, just in case any of my younger brothers and sisters was on there and didn't understand, but it said all the places we've been scattered as slaves, he is going to one day wake us up. How we wake up? We get reunited with what our forefathers' name was before the Gentiles, before the white people beat their names out of them. Okay? When we get our name, we get our purpose. When we understand who we are and whose we are, we start walking by what he meant for us to walk by in the beginning. Keep my laws, my statutes, my commandments, and my judgments, and let that be a light in the world. Now that we have begun to do this, and we still got a lot of work to do, but now we have begun to do this, he have begun to reverse the curses. And he said, I'm going to reverse the curses, and I'm going to put them on your enemies for what they done to you. Now these curses are being put on our enemies. They have been deceived, the Gentiles, into thinking that them people over there was God's people. Them curses was designed to wake you up. And one day, them curses that he putting on them Gentiles, it's going to wake them up too. The curses he putting on the heathen, it's going to wake them up too. There's a difference between the Gentile and the heathen. The Gentile are the people that were far outside of our borders, that we had no understanding of, comprehension of. That was the Gentiles. The heathens were the people that were surrounding us, the people that we knew, the Canaanites, the Philistines, the Jebusites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, and all these different people, the Philistines, all of them. Them was heathens. We knew them. We called them Gentiles because we didn't know them. But the curses are going on the heathens and the Gentiles. You see? And just like curses was designed to wake us up to who we were Israel. We had power with God. We were meant to be a kingdom of priests and a royal priesthood to the nations in the earth. That was our purpose. The same way God Father used the curses to wake us up, He's going to use the curses to wake them up. What do I mean? Because as Greece is on fire, as Rome is getting trifled by all kind of wild animals, and they got wild boars running through the street, and the trash is built up with all their systems are failing too. You got people over in Hawaii, volcano. This is attached to America. You understand what I'm saying? You got the islands down there, and every time you turn around, something happens. They own all of these things. You got the United States, and one thing after another thing, after another thing, after another thing. You see, 250 plagues is going on these Gentiles for the things that they done. Because their head is far more hard-headed than ours. You see, all it took to wake us up, it's going to take double and triple to wake them up. That's why the Father say, serve them a double portion for their wickedness. So during the time of their affliction, Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19, during the time of their affliction, these plagues about to start hitting them. And they're going to wake up to the fact that they've been lied to. That them people we were supporting wasn't God's people. They've been lied to. That's what them curses gonna do to them. Because if you was attached to the Father's people, you wondering why ain't nothing happening. You praying to the European Jesus. You praying, oh Lord, I know it. And why you even yet while you praying, even yet while you praying, a mudslide comes and covers the whole neighborhood up. During their time of affliction, eventually they're going to come to the point, just like we did. Something is wrong here. If I'm serving the true God, why can't I stop none of these things that's coming against me? He said, and they'll come to their senses sooner or later, and then they're going to go and say, they're going to come from the ends of the earth. It just say they're going to come from the ends of the earth. declaring, surely we have inherited lives from our forefathers. That was vanity, no profit, no benefit. Who you think they're going to be talking to?
You talking to Israel.
You see? Because that's the only way they're going anywhere. Anybody going anywhere. And these ain't no message. Listen, man, I'm telling you. It's hellfire and destruction waiting for anybody that don't come to a full comprehension of this word, especially the Negro. Because he has every right to it. And the Father have given him a spirit to do it. And the only reason why he won't do it is because either he reject because he want to do something different, or he's in flat-out rebellion. But either way it goes.
You know, it sounds like you just said. It sounds like you just said that they will have to come. Affliction is going to bring them into a light.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But to understand what's afflicting you, you will have to relate to the Father's words and understand it in its true comprehension. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
because apparently they don't understand it.
How are they going to understand?
But that's what I'm saying. If you're saying to affliction, then they're going to have to go back and re-examine what they believe the words of God is.
I told you.
Because right now they don't understand it. You see what I'm saying?
I told you they got to come to the point to where they have love for Israel, the Negro, that outweighs the love that they have for their own selves. They would be willing to die than for one of us to be harmed. That's the kind of love that they got to have for us.
But see, where is they gonna find that out?
They find it. They're gonna find it out through these plagues that's hitting them.
I know, but when they go to God and say, "Well, God, what's going on?"
They can't go to God. What? They can't go to God. They're not God's people. They can't, and they are afflicting God's people. They are God's enemies.
Well, they eventually gonna say, "Well, what's wrong?"
Exactly.
They're gonna have to talk to somebody.
That's what we're talking about.
Get somewhere.
Only person that they're gonna
they're
gonna come across one of these. They're gonna come across one of these videos.
Israel,
they're gonna come across one of these videos.
Start waking
or
up.
they gonna, and they gonna understand. You see, because they've been deceived. That's why the scriptures say that during the time of affliction, the Gentiles shall come from the end of the earth. He's coming from the end of the earth because he come to his senses that he has been afflicted and he has been deceived by them people over there. Yeah. And he's going to now get up and come from the ends of the earth to the one who he have come to realize is the Father's chosen people, which is the ones that he himself have afflicted. And his love, rather than to be destroyed, when he come from the end of the earth to confess before the Negro that he had been lied to and they had done all this treachery to us as a people because their forefathers had lied to them, when they have to confess that, they will be on their face. And they will never get up off of it. You know why? Because they will know. This is the Father's people. You're not, listen, you can't no more, ain't no nation can no more get into the Father's graces than a man could get into the Father's graces by skipping the Messiah. If you think that you can bypass Israel and get into the Father's graces, you are sadly mistaken, because Israel is the only one that was put in the earth with the ability to teach the Father's word.
That's right.
And this is what they don't realize, that they have never received truth because they have suppressed the Father's word by suppressing us. And what they're witnessing, and they're witnessing the power of the Most High, raising a people up who was always suppressed. Now nobody can suppress us. No tactic will work. No weaponry can work. Ain't nothing you can do to suppress us. Now we getting up. That all by itself shows the Father's power. Yeah? Well, our brothers and sisters got to understand the value, the greatness of the responsibility that's been given to us. Man, we tearing this old school lunch out. I said, man, I want milk. I want me a beef salami sandwich. Old school. Yep. So, you know, my brothers and sisters need to learn. There are many people that's going to come out of these nations. These scriptures ain't in the Bible for nothing. So one thing I want to tell my brothers and sisters the other day is that you don't have to walk around opening up your mouth. All you have to do is live. All you have to do is live. Quit being so zealous to try to teach everybody everything. Let the Father do the teaching. Get out the way. Let him teach his people. If he woke me up, he'll wake you up.
That's right.
If he woke you up, he'll wake somebody else up. And he don't need your help to do it. Right. All he needs you to do is just stay out of the way. Just stay out the way. That's right. You know, at some point, you see, because it's appointed to a man to die once. And after this is his judgment. Father don't need no help. He don't need no help. And you sure ain't gonna get nobody's help when it's your time is up. Take this word and practice, incorporate that word in our life, and doing the best that we can to live by it. I'm gonna say this again. If you can't live it, you got no business quoting it. You see? Because when you live it and then you quote it, it has power. Because now you're looking at the realness of the word coupled by life experience, which gives power and weight to it. When I can show you something in scripture, and I'm convinced in my mind that it works because I have been through it and seen the Father honor his word. That when something said, it jumps out of the phone with power. You see? It's a combination. Now, let's practice living the word. Take one scripture a day and say, I'm going to live this word. I'm going to remember it all day and I'm going to live this word. And live it. And once you conquer living it, when you open up your mouth, everything that come out of it will have substance to it. Yep, so don't be running around trying to persuade nobody. Only people out here trying to persuade other people who they are is people that's insecure about who they are. They hear it being said who we are, but they really don't believe it. That's why they talk about and try to persuade it. We Israel, we Israel. I don't have to persuade you. Believe it or not. There are many things that people say to you on a daily basis, and you just keep right on going. You either believe it or you don't. So put that energy somewhere else. I'm gonna be bringing our young king on sometime today. He's making arrangements still for should have arrangements made today. I'm just waiting on him for dates. And as soon as he gets those dates, then we're going to come back on here. Let's continue to keep our brother lifted up in prayer and the young queen that they just lost their child. They got to bury their child here in the next few days. So let us keep them lifted up as well. And pray for me also. Pray for me also as well that I might be able to get to Indiana and support that young king and queen that's going through that experience right now. We do have some praise reports throughout this whole ordeal, but to lose your grandmother one day and then you lose your child 3 or 4 days later, that's just so. Let's keep them lifted up in prayer, and remember, we don't have no time to waste. People, don't be around here trying to persuade people of who you are. You should know who you are. The Father put his spirit in you, so you should know who you are. And everybody in their world, everybody in mama's coming back trying to get us to stop and talk to them or debate with them or argue with them. I'm not arguing with you about nothing. I'm Israel. I know that. You're a heathen. I know that. Ain't nothing else to be talking about. So So that's how that's going to be. We're going to focus on our own people. Focus on our own people. Keep on spending your money with your own people. We still never stop buying it. We ain't buying no pork. We ain't buying no shrimp. We ain't buying no lobster. We don't want your clothing. We don't want your name brand clothing. We don't want your hair weave. We don't want your perm. We don't want your relaxer. We don't want none of that. Give us our nappy hair. Give us our cotton garments, our simple stuff. Give us our food, our salads, our vegetables. Give us what we need. That's all we need. They can have what they want. But look, when we start focusing on us, the whole world suffers. But you know why? If the fall of Israel produced the riches of the world, and the diminishing of Israel produces the riches of the Gentiles, what does that say? When we stand up on our feet, that great exceeding army only caring for Israel and those that would come in from the outside by faith, man, the whole world would perish. They would perish because there would be no riches in the world if we hadn't failed. We had the riches and everybody was subdued up under us. If the fall of Israel produced the riches of the world, do y'all really understand how bad we are as a people when we start walking together? When we start walking together, I can't wait till we get back in the kingdom for real, because them brothers that want to argue with each other and stuff like that, oh man, when we get in the kingdom, you see, they will be people that jeopardize our blessing by being stagnant and warring against each other. We probably hang them upside down and beat them to their feet bleed. You understand what I'm saying? Because when we start walking together as a people, did y'all hear what that said? If the fall of Israel produced the riches of the world. If Israel hadn't fallen, there would be no riches of this world. You would have the riches of Israel. And it said, if the diminishing of Israel produces the riches of the Gentiles, how much more our fullness? You see, how much more our fullness if we never had failed? But see how great we are? Not only do we produce the riches of the world, but the riches of the world that we produce are conditional. I said they are conditional. They are conditional based on us being in a diminished place. They have to keep Israel in a diminished place in order to maintain the riches of the world that will rightly belong to us. But that we don't have to be in a diminished place. The only way we can be in a diminished place is when we're disconnected from each other. But when we connect to each other and we see things as we should see, nobody is going to diminish us. And when we have that mindset, nobody is going to diminish us, because we know who we are. We know whose we are. We know what our purpose is in the earth. And then we got each other to get anything done. When we understand these things, you see, they keeping us diminished still. That's why they still maintain the riches. When we get to the point to where we really start walking, like we said, we're a good start. We're off to a good start. Like I said, the grocery stores, the meat department is suffering. Salami and bread. Beef salami, $6. Swine, $1.99. I might not have no icebox full of food, but I had the Father's blessing that my father said he ain't never seen the righteous forsaken or his children begging for bread. But I know we're doing damage to the meat facilities, because collectively as a people we have come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments on that level. So we're doing damage to that part. We're doing damage to the Asian man. We're no longer doing what's getting... You see, when we stand up, they can't survive. But just think, when we stop doing these things, we produce our own things, and now our riches come back to us. And they're the ones that are being diminished. And the Most High is helping us. He's helping us diminish them. He's destroying their credit now. They're on food stamps now. They don't have jobs now. And then on top of that, they're in a worse condition because we was in poverty, but the Father didn't send no tornadoes our way, no hurricanes our way. He didn't send no lightning bolts and no wildfires our way. Not only is he's helping us diminish them by bringing the empires down and then destroying them on top of that. They ain't gonna have no choice. You see? They ain't gonna have no choice. And we know that one day we're not going to be in a diminished state. Because Jeremiah 16 and 19, I'll read it, I'll say it again. During the time of the Gentiles' affliction, he shall come from the ends of the earth, and he shall declare before Israel. He shall declare before the Negro that was put on the slave boat. He shall declare that he inherited lies of his forefather that were to no profit and to no benefit. His condition will be far worse than ours ever was. We don't have to be in a diminished place. We worked on them things, let's keep working on other things. Keep working on other things. The Arab, the East Indian, the Asian, the Chinese, the European, and the African. They all in your neighborhood. Every business in your neighborhood is owned by one of them. And though they might not walk around and be buddy friends and go out and have drinks together, but they are all in agreement. And they're all in agreement because they understand that your fall is what caused them to have riches. So it can't be one of them to come against you. They all have to come against you because they all have gotten rich because of your fall. And they all know, look, if this Negro get up off the ground, if this Negro really gets up off the ground and come to understand that these scriptures was what the Father gave them, that would be their power in the earth as a family. If this Negro gets up, now y'all know what that means. Y'all know what's going to happen to us. We're going to go back to being where we was at when their forefather Joshua was running things. So, come on, brothers and sisters. Let's keep our brothers, our young king and our young queen, lifted up in prayer concerning their child that they have lost. And do the same with me. Shalom.